The massive ship hung in Earth's orbit like a dark cloud. Its smooth surface reflected no light, giving it the appearance of a hole in space. Inside the command center of this vessel, Commander Rex studied the blue planet below with cold, calculating eyes. "Such a primitive world," Rex said, his scaled fingers tapping on the control panel. "They still use combustion engines and have not even colonized their own moon properly." Officer Trell nodded beside him. "The scouts report they have nuclear weapons, but their space defense systems are basic at best." Rex smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. "Perfect. Another easy addition to the Dominion. Prepare the diplomatic team." The Dominion had conquered hundreds of worlds across the galaxy. Their method was always the same. Approach with false friendship, study the planet's defenses, then strike when the natives least expected it. Earth would be no different. Captain James Stone stood at attention as the alien shuttle landed on the specially prepared pad outside the United Nations headquarters in New York. At 45, James had seen many things in his years with the United Earth Defense Force, but aliens, this was a first for everyone on the planet. "Remember," General Harris whispered beside him, "be respectful but show no weakness. We don't know their intentions yet." James nodded, his face serious. The shuttle doors opened with a soft hiss, and out stepped creatures that looked almost like humans, except for their gray-blue skin and eyes that seemed too large for their faces. "Welcome to Earth," the UN Secretary said, stepping forward with an outstretched hand. The lead alien, taller than the others and wearing a red uniform, looked at the hand with confusion before mimicking the gesture. "I am Commander Rex of the Dominion Exploration Fleet. We come in peace to establish relations with your world." James watched carefully. Something in Rex's tone didn't match his words. As a former poker player, James had gotten good at spotting lies, and his instincts were screaming at him now. 3 days later, James sat in a secure underground room with the world's top military leaders. On the large screen, satellite images showed what the aliens had tried to hide. More ships appearing at the edge of the solar system. "They said they came with just one vessel," James pointed out. "These new ships appeared after our talks began." General Harris nodded grimly. "And that's not all. Our hackers managed to translate some of their communications. They're mapping our defenses, power grids, and water supplies." "Classic invasion preparation," said Admiral Wong. "They're studying us like we're insects." The UN Secretary looked pale. "But their technology is so advanced. If we confront them, and they decide to attack, can we even fight back?" A silence fell over the room. It was the question everyone feared to ask. James cleared his throat. "Ma'am, this might be the time to activate Protocol Thunderstrike." Several heads turned sharply toward him. Protocol Thunderstrike was known to only a handful of people in the room. "That's extreme, Captain," the Secretary of Defense said carefully. "So is extinction," James replied flatly. The next meeting with the aliens took place aboard their ship. James was part of the Earth delegation, his eyes constantly scanning everything around him. The Dominion technology was indeed impressive. Doorways that opened without visible controls, lighting that seemed to come from nowhere, and officers who communicated without speaking. Rex led them to a large room with a view of Earth below. "We are pleased with our initial discussions," he said smoothly. "The Dominion offers protection and advanced technology to all worlds that join our collective." "Join?" the UN Secretary asked carefully. "We were discussing trade and cultural exchange, not joining anything." Rex's smile didn't reach his eyes. "Of course. A poor choice of words on my part." But James had seen the brief flash of annoyance on Rex's face. This wasn't a slip of the tongue. As the meeting continued, James noticed small drones floating near the ceiling, scanning the Earth delegates. He casually reached into his pocket, activating the device that Earth's scientists had prepared. It would scramble any biological scans and feed false information to the aliens. Later that night, James was awakened by an urgent call. "Captain, we've intercepted a transmission," his aide said. You need to see this immediately." James rushed to the command center where a translated alien message played on the screen. Preliminary assessment complete. Local defenses negligible. Recommend immediate resource acquisition protocol. Native resistance expected to be minimal. Awaiting final approval. "They're not here for friendship," General Harris said, his face grim. "They're here to take everything we have." The president has ordered a full military alert, but kept quiet. Admiral Wong added, "We don't want them to know we're onto them." James nodded, his mind racing. "What about Thunderstrike?" "Approved," General Harris said quietly. "Teams are being awakened as we speak." The final meeting with the aliens was tense. Earth's leaders had decided on a bold strategy: confront the Dominion with what they knew. "Commander Rex," the UN Secretary said firmly, "we have detected your hidden fleet at the edge of our solar system. We have also intercepted communications regarding your resource acquisition protocol. Would you care to explain?" For a moment, Rex looked surprised, but quickly recovered. "There seems to be a misunderstanding," he said smoothly. "Additional ships are standard procedure for first contact scenarios." "And the resource acquisition?" James asked directly. Rex's eyes narrowed as he looked at James. "You humans are more observant than we expected." "Very well. The Dominion requires resources to maintain our empire. Your planet has them in abundance. We had hoped to make this transition peaceful." "Transition?" the Secretary asked, though everyone knew what he meant. "The incorporation of Earth into the Dominion," Rex said, dropping all pretense. "Your civilization is young, barely spacefaring. The Dominion has existed for 10,000 years. Your resistance would be futile and wasteful." The room fell silent. "We decline your offer," the Secretary said simply. Rex actually laughed. "You misunderstand. This is not an offer. It is a courtesy notification. Our fleet will begin landing operations in 3 of your Earth days. You may surrender formally before then to prevent unnecessary suffering." As the Earth delegation was escorted back to their shuttle, James received a text message on his secure phone. It contained just 2 words: "Thunderstrike active." For the first time since the aliens had arrived, James allowed himself a small smile. The Dominion thought humans were weak and primitive. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The Dominion may have conquered hundreds of worlds, but none of those worlds had been Earth. None of those worlds had humans. And none of those worlds had warriors like the ones now being awakened in secret bases around the planet. The aliens thought they were untouchable. They were about to find out otherwise. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a facility that didn't exist on any official map, Major Kate Wilson stood in a chamber of ice. The cold air burned her lungs as the cryopod around her hissed open. Medical staff rushed forward, wrapping thermal blankets around her shoulders. "Welcome back, Major," said a doctor, checking her vital signs. "How do you feel?" Kate blinked away frost from her eyelashes. "Like I've been hit by a truck." Her voice was rough from disuse. "How long was I under?" 3 years, Major. We wouldn't have woken you if it wasn't an emergency." Kate nodded, memories flowing back. She and the other members of Team Alpha had volunteered for the experimental long-term cryo-sleep. They were Earth's ultimate insurance policy. Elite soldiers enhanced with the best technology and training humanity could provide, kept in reserve for the darkest hour. Apparently, that hour had come. In a similar facility under the Sahara Desert, Jack opened his eyes to bright lights and the smell of antiseptic. His hands immediately went to his chest, feeling for his gear. "Your equipment is ready in the armories, sir," a young soldier told him. "Updated with the latest tech." Jack grinned. As Team Alpha's demolitions expert, he loved things that went boom. "Better than the old stuff. You won't believe what R&D has come up with while you were sleeping." Around the world, the other members of Team Alpha were waking up. Maria in the Amazon facility, Thomas in the underwater base near Australia, and Ben in the Arctic station. Within hours, they would all converge at Command Central, hidden beneath an ordinary farm in the American Midwest. None of them had expected to be awakened. Their mission was supposed to be a last resort. Commander Rex stared at the report on his screen with disbelief. "This cannot be accurate," he said to the spy who had just returned from Earth. "Humans are a fragile species. They cannot possibly have warriors with these capabilities." The spy, who had taken human form to blend in, looked nervous. "I saw them with my own eyes, Commander. They were training at a hidden base. One of them lifted a ground vehicle with his bare hands. Another moved so quickly she was almost invisible." Rex dismissed the spy with a wave of his hand. "Clearly, you were shown an elaborate deception. Humans know we're watching and are trying to intimidate us." Officer Trell, who had been quietly listening, stepped forward. "Commander, perhaps we should delay the invasion until we can verify." "Enough." Rex slammed his fist on the control panel. "I will not delay based on a spy's wild imagination. The invasion proceeds as planned. Prepare the first wave." Kate stood before a holographic display of Earth, surrounded by the rest of Team Alpha. Despite years apart, they fell back into their old rhythm immediately. Jack, stocky and scared, was checking his new explosive devices with childlike glee. Maria, with her dark hair cropped short, studied the enemy ship layouts with intense focus. Thomas's fingers flew over multiple keyboards, hacking into the alien systems. And Ben, tall and powerfully built, was testing his new exoskeleton arms, crushing metal bars like they were made of paper. General Harris entered the room, and they all stood at attention. "At ease," he said. "I wish we could give you more time to adjust, but the Dominion has begun their attack. They've taken our moon base and are preparing for a full-scale invasion." "What exactly are we dealing with, sir?" Kate asked. The general activated a larger hologram showing the alien ships. "The Dominion has conquered hundreds of worlds with superior technology and overwhelming force. They believe we'll fall as easily as the others." "Their mistake," Jack said with a grin. "Indeed," the general agreed. "They expect conventional resistance. Armies, air forces, maybe some orbital defenses. They don't know about you." Kate studied the alien flagship. "What's our mission?" "The Dominion's first wave will target our major military installations, while our regular forces engage them. Team Alpha will strike their command ship and disrupt their coordination. If we can throw them into confusion, we might buy enough time to prepare a larger counterattack." Kate nodded, her mind already forming a plan. "We'll need a way to get aboard their ship undetected." Thomas spoke up, still typing. "I've been studying their transportation systems. They use matter transfer technology similar to our prototype teleporters. I think I can hack into their system and get us aboard." "How long?" Kate asked. 12 hours, maybe less." "You have 6, she said firmly. "The rest of us will prepare for boarding." On the Dominion command ship, Rex watched as the first wave of fighters descended toward Earth. The humans had managed to launch some primitive spacecraft to defend their moon base, but they were quickly overwhelmed. "Pathetic," Rex muttered. "They still use rocket propulsion." Officer Trell monitored the attack from his station. "Sir, we're detecting unusual energy signatures from several locations on the planet." "What kind of energy?" "Unknown, sir. It doesn't match any of their known weapons." Rex dismissed the concern. "Their defenses are as primitive as we expected. Begin the second wave." Kate and her team suited up in their advanced combat armor. These weren't bulky like traditional military gear, but sleek, form-fitting suits with built-in enhancements. Kate's increased her already impressive reflexes. Jack's contained hidden compartments for his special explosives. Maria's bent light around her, making her nearly invisible. Thomas had integrated computers throughout his, and Ben's amplified his strength even further. 6 minutes to teleport, Thomas announced. "Remember the plan," Kate said. "We get in, disable their communications, plant the charges, and get out. Quick and clean." Jack patted his belt of explosives. Nothing cleaner than a good explosion. Kate gave him a stern look, but couldn't hide her smile. Even facing alien invaders, Jack never changed. 1 minute, Thomas said, his fingers dancing over a control panel. I've locked onto their ship's teleportation grid. They'll never see us coming. The first sign that something was wrong came when a section of the Dominion ship suddenly lost power. Rex was in the middle of ordering the third wave to launch when the lights on the bridge flickered. "What's happening?" he demanded. "Unknown, sir," an officer replied. "We've lost contact with Deck 12. Security breach in the teleportation bay," another officer shouted. Rex felt the first stirrings of unease. "Activate internal defenses. Lock down all sensitive areas." Before the officer could respond, all the screens on the bridge went dark. When they came back online seconds later, they displayed the same message in the Dominion language. "We are Earth. You are naughty doty here." An explosion rocked the ship, throwing Rex against the wall. "Find the intruders," he roared. "How did they get aboard?" Officer Trell looked up from his console, his face grim. "Sir, they used our own teleporters against us, and these don't appear to be regular soldiers." For the first time since arriving at Earth, Commander Rex felt something he hadn't experienced in years: doubt. Kate moved silently through the alien corridor, her team spread out behind her. So far, the plan was working perfectly. Thomas had hacked their systems, Maria had disabled the internal sensors, and Jack had planted his first round of explosives. Phase 1 complete, Kate whispered into her comm. Moving to Phase 2. As they approached the main communication hub, an alarm suddenly blared. The door ahead of them slid open, and a squad of Dominion soldiers rushed out, weapons raised. Kate didn't hesitate. "Alpha Team, engage." The aliens fired first, energy bolts sizzling through the air, but they weren't prepared for what happened next. Ben stepped forward, his enhanced strength allowing him to tear a metal panel from the wall and use it as a shield. Behind this cover, Jack lobbed a small device that exploded in a flash of light, blinding the aliens. Then Maria seemed to appear from nowhere, moving with incredible speed between the disoriented soldiers, disabling them one by one. The skirmish lasted less than 30 seconds. "Forward," Kate ordered, stepping over the unconscious aliens. "We've lost the element of surprise. Now we work fast." As they continued deeper into the ship, word was already spreading through the Dominion fleet. Earth had warriors unlike any they had faced before, and they were just getting started. Commander Rex paced the bridge of his damaged flagship. Reports of the human attack flooded in from all decks. 3 communication centers destroyed. Main power generators damaged. Teleportation systems compromised. "How?" he demanded, slamming his fist on a control panel. "How did 5 humans cause this much damage?" Officer Trell pulled up surveillance footage, showing a brief glimpse of Kate and her team moving through a corridor. Even with the Dominion's advanced recording technology, the humans appeared as little more than blurs. "These are not ordinary humans," Trell said quietly. The spy was right. Rex stared at the footage, his confidence shaken for the first time. "Send in the Harbingers." Trell's eyes widened. "Sir, the Harbingers are meant for full planetary assault, not ship defense." "Do it," Rex shouted. "I want these humans eliminated." Kate and her team had reached the main engine control room when they heard it, a deep, rumbling sound that seemed to shake the entire ship. "What is that?" Jack asked, pausing as he set his explosives. Maria, who had been scouting ahead, rushed back into the room. "We've got trouble. Big trouble." Before she could explain further, the wall beside them exploded inward. Through the smoke and debris stepped a massive figure, nearly 9 feet tall, covered in black armor with glowing red lines running across its surface. "Harbinger," Maria whispered. The creature roared, the sound amplified by its helmet, and charged forward with surprising speed for its size. Ben moved to intercept, his enhanced strength allowing him to meet the Harbinger head-on. The collision sent both of them crashing into equipment, sparks flying everywhere. "Complete the mission," Kate ordered. Thomas, get the engine codes. Jack, set those charges. Two more harbingers burst through different entrances. Kate rolled under a swing from one, coming up with her energy blade activated. She slashed at the back of the harbinger's knee joint, one of the few weak points in their armor. The creature stumbled but didn't fall. Maria seemed to disappear into thin air, using her stealth technology to confuse the third harbinger, which swung wildly at empty space. Ben was still wrestling with the first harbinger, both of them locked in a test of strength. Slowly, to everyone's surprise, Ben began to push the alien warrior back. "Hurry," Kate shouted to Thomas, who was downloading critical data from the ship's computers. "Almost there," he called back, fingers flying over the alien interface. "Their systems are complicated, but not smarter than me." On the bridge, Rex watched the battle through security feeds, his jaw clenched in anger and disbelief. "Impossible," he muttered as he saw Ben holding his own against a harbinger. "No human should have that strength." Trell studied the readings from the engine room. "Sir, they appear to be planting explosive devices near critical systems." "Stop them," Rex shouted. "Seal all exits. Release the nerve gas." Kate's heads-up display flashed a warning. "Gas incoming. Helmets on." Team Alpha activated their sealed helmets just as a hissing sound filled the room. The harbingers, already protected by their armor, pressed their attack. Thomas finished his download. "Got it. Engine override code secured." "Jack," Kate called, ducking under another swing from a harbinger. "Charges set," he confirmed. "Remote detonation ready." "Maria, extraction route." Maria appeared beside an access panel, already prying it open. "Secondary maintenance shaft. It leads to an escape pod bay." "Ben, disengage." "We're leaving," Kate ordered. Ben delivered one final powerful punch that actually cracked the harbinger's armor, then broke away to join the others. Kate activated a small device on her belt that sent out an electromagnetic pulse, temporarily disabling the harbinger systems. "Go, go, go." The team squeezed through the maintenance shaft, the sounds of the recovering harbingers close behind. In Earth's orbit, the Dominion invasion force continued its advance. Unaware of the chaos aboard their flagship, smaller alien ships began entering the atmosphere, heading for major cities. But Earth wasn't defenseless. Regular military forces launched a coordinated counterattack, using strategies developed specifically for this moment. Fighter jets engaged alien craft using unpredictable flight patterns that confused the Dominion's targeting systems. Ground forces used guerrilla tactics rather than meeting the aliens head-on. And in space, Earth's few orbital platforms, which the Dominion had dismissed as primitive, suddenly revealed hidden weapons, technology reverse-engineered from a crashed alien ship decades ago and kept secret until now. Team Alpha reached the escape pod bay, fighting through a squad of regular Dominion soldiers with efficiency born from years of training. Thomas quickly hacked the pod's controls. "Ready for launch," he announced. Kate was the last to enter, firing back at pursuing forces. "Jack now." Jack grinned and pressed a button on his wrist device. Throughout the Dominion flagship, his specialized explosives detonated simultaneously. Unlike regular explosives, these were designed to target specific systems with minimal collateral damage. The team's escape pod launched just as the flagship's engines failed, its weapon systems went offline, and its internal gravity fluctuated wildly. Rex held onto his command chair as the gravity shifted, sending crew members flying across the bridge. "Status report," he demanded. Trell struggled to his console. Main engines offline. Weapons offline. Communications across the fleet disrupted. We're dead in space." Rex couldn't believe what he was hearing. His mighty flagship, crippled by 5 humans. "The invasion force?" he asked, dreading the answer. Without coordination from the flagship, they're following standard protocols. "But," Trell hesitated. "But what?" Rex growled. "Earth's resistance is not following any patterns we've seen before. Our forces expected a conventional defense, but they're facing hit-and-run tactics, unexpected technology. And, sir, we're taking significant losses. Rex stared out the viewport at Earth, the blue planet suddenly looking much more dangerous than before. Send the signal, he said quietly. Sir, send the signal to General Drav. Tell him to bring the Armada. Kate and her team watched from their escape pod as the Dominion flagship drifted, its lights flickering. Mission accomplished, Jack said with satisfaction. Phase 1 accomplished, Kate corrected. This was just their advance force. Thomas was reviewing the data he'd stolen. According to this, they've already called for reinforcements. Someone named General Drav is bringing something called the Armada. How long do we have? Maria asked. 3 days, maybe 4. Kate's expression was determined. Then we have work to do. She activated her comm link to Earth Command. General Harris, this is Major Wilson. Flagship mission successful. Request immediate pickup and preparation for Phase 2. Well done, Alpha Team, came the General's voice. The Dominion just learned that humans aren't as easy to conquer as they thought. But this fight is just beginning. As their pod descended toward Earth, Kate looked back at the crippled alien ship. The Dominion had arrived confident in their superiority, expecting an easy victory. Instead, they had faced Earth's hidden strength. And soon, they would face much more. 3 days after crippling the Dominion flagship, Team Alpha stood in Earth Command's war room. The holographic display showed dozens of new alien ships appearing at the edge of the solar system. The Armada has arrived, General Harris said grimly. More ships than we expected. Kate studied the formation. They're spreading out to surround Earth. Standard encirclement tactics. Thomas pointed to the largest ship at the center of the formation. That must be General Drav's command vessel. It's 3 times the size of Rex's flagship. Can we fight them all? An admiral asked. Not directly, Kate replied. But we don't need to. She turned to Thomas. Show them what you found. Thomas activated a data file from the information he'd stolen. A map of the galaxy appeared, with hundreds of worlds marked in red. These are all the planets the Dominion has conquered, he explained. But look at this. He zoomed in on several worlds where small blue dots pulsed. These signals indicate resistance movements. The Dominion doesn't have complete control everywhere. You're suggesting we find allies? General Harris asked. Kate nodded. The Dominion has been conquering worlds for centuries. They must have made plenty of enemies. But how do we reach them? The Admiral asked. We can barely get to Mars. Jack grinned. We have a perfectly good alien ship in orbit. Or we did, before I blew up its engines. We repair it, Kate said. Just enough to get us to the nearest occupied world. Thomas's data shows a planet called Nexus that serves as a regional hub. If there's an organized resistance, they'll have people there. General Harris looked skeptical. This is extremely risky. You'd be going right into enemy territory. While we're gone, Kate continued, Earth keeps fighting. The Dominion expects us to defend. Instead, we attack. Hit-and-run raids on their ships. Make them chase us around the system. A distraction, Maria said, while we find help. After a long moment, General Harris nodded. Make your preparations. You leave in 12 hours. General Drav was not like Commander Rex. Where Rex was sleek and polished, Drav was massive and battle-scarred. His gray skin was crisscrossed with old wounds, and one of his 4 eyes had been replaced with a mechanical implant. You lost your flagship to 5 humans. Drav's voice rumbled with contempt as he addressed Rex through the view screen. Rex struggled to maintain his composure. These are not ordinary humans. They have enhanced abilities. Excuses. Drav cut him off. The Dominion does not accept failure. You are relieved of command. But, General, report to my ship immediately. You will serve under my direct supervision until you redeem yourself. The screen went dark. Rex clenched his fists. In his entire career, He had never been humiliated like this, and it was all because of those humans. Team Alpha worked quickly to repair the damaged Dominion ship. Earth engineers had been studying the alien technology, making remarkable progress in understanding its principles. The good news, Jack said as he reconnected power conduits, is that I was careful where I placed my explosives. The main structure and life support systems are intact. And the bad news? Kate asked. We'll have power for one jump, maybe two if we're lucky. After that, we'll need to find a way to recharge. Ben was loading supplies into the ship. Though the strongest of the team, he was also the quietest. Now he spoke up. Will the aliens be able to track us? Thomas shook his head. I've modified their identification transponder. As far as the Dominion is concerned, this ship was destroyed. We'll register as space debris until we power up for the jump. Maria finished checking her weapons. 12 hours until departure. Everyone gets some rest. The Armada began its attack just as Team Alpha was preparing to leave Earth. Dominion ships descended toward major cities worldwide. But instead of finding panicked civilians and disorganized resistance, they faced prepared defenders. In New York, alien landing craft were caught in electromagnetic nets that disabled their controls. In Beijing, ground forces used reverse-engineered alien weapons to great effect. In London, civilian hackers disrupted Dominion communications. General Drav watched from his command ship, his mechanical eye glowing red with anger. These humans are more resourceful than reported. Increase orbital bombardment. Target their power infrastructure. But even this strategy met unexpected challenges. Many of Earth's power plants had been moved underground. Decoy facilities drew Dominion fire while real ones remained untouched. Sir, a Dominion officer reported, we're detecting a small ship leaving Earth's atmosphere. Identify it, Drav ordered. It appears to be debris from Commander Rex's ship. Drav focused his mechanical eye on the reading. Something didn't feel right. Track it. Team Alpha's stolen ship slipped past the Dominion blockade. Once they were clear of Earth's gravity, Thomas activated the jump drive. Coordinates set for Nexus, he announced. Jump in 3, 2, 1. The stars blurred around them as the ship accelerated to impossible speed. Earth and its solar system vanished behind them. Kate looked at her team. Everyone okay? They nodded, though Jack looked slightly green. Forgot how much I hate space travel, he muttered. How long until we reach Nexus? Maria asked. About 12 hours, Thomas replied. I've set the ship to alert us when we arrive. Kate nodded. Get some rest. We don't know what we'll face when we get there. Hours later, the ship dropped out of hyperspace near a massive space station orbiting a blue-green planet. Nexus was larger than they had expected, a sprawling hub of activity with hundreds of ships coming and going. Now what? Ben asked, staring at the station. We dock, Kate said. Thomas, can you fake authorization codes? Thomas was already working on it, using Rex's clearance. It's probably been revoked by now, but it might create enough confusion to get us in. And once we're in, Jack asked. We find the resistance, Kate said, checking her weapons. Look for people who don't fit in. In a place this big, there must be groups working against the Dominion. The stolen ship approached the docking bay, transmitting Thomas's forged codes. After a tense moment, they received clearance to land. Remember, Kate said as they prepared to disembark, we're looking for allies, not a fight. Keep a low profile. They exited the ship into the bustling docking bay. Aliens of various species moved about, most giving their small group curious glances, but nothing more. I've never seen so many different aliens, Jack whispered, trying not to stare at a creature with 6 arms and glowing tentacles for hair. Act like you belong, Maria advised. Look bored, not amazed. They made their way through the station, taking in the strange sights, sounds, and smells. Eventually, they found a busy marketplace area where information might be easier to come by. Kate approached what appeared to be a bar. Inside, the dim lighting concealed shadowy figures hunched over drinks. "Perfect," she murmured. "Places like this exist everywhere in the galaxy, it seems." As they entered, conversations died down. Alien eyes turned to study the newcomers. In the corner sat a hooded figure who straightened at their arrival. The hood fell back slightly, revealing a face similar to a human's, but with silvery skin and eyes that reflected light like a cat's. The figure raised a glass slightly, a gesture of recognition. "I think we just found our contact," Kate said quietly. "Or trouble." The silver-skinned alien smiled, revealing pointed teeth. "You must be the humans I've heard so much about," it said in perfect English. "The ones who gave the mighty Dominion their first real defeat in centuries." Kate's hand moved closer to her concealed weapon. "And you are?" "Someone who's been waiting a very long time for allies like you." The alien gestured to empty seats at its table. "Please, join me. We have much to discuss about the downfall of our common enemy." Team Alpha exchanged glances. They had come looking for resistance fighters, and it seemed the resistance had found them first. The silver-skinned alien called herself Lyra. She was the leader of a hidden network of resistance fighters from dozens of conquered worlds. "We've been waiting for someone like you," Lyra told Team Alpha as they sat in a secret room beneath the marketplace, a species that could actually hurt the Dominion. "We're just getting started," Kate said, "but we need help to save our planet." Lyra nodded. "The Dominion has ruled through fear for too long. They keep conquered worlds isolated, making each believe they are alone in their suffering." She activated a holographic map similar to the one Thomas had found. "But there are more of us than they know." Ben studied the map. "These are all resistance groups." "Yes," Lyra confirmed. "Some small, some large, all waiting for the right moment to strike." "And you think now is that moment?" Maria asked. Lyra's cat-like eyes gleamed. "The news that humans defeated Commander Rex has already spread through secret channels. For the first time in centuries, people believe the Dominion can be beaten." Jack grinned. "So we're celebrities. I like that." "You're more than that," Lyra said seriously. "You're the spark that could start a fire across the galaxy." Back on Earth, General Drav was growing frustrated. Despite his armada's overwhelming firepower, the humans continued to resist. Their tactics were unlike anything the Dominion had encountered before. "They refuse to mass their forces where we can destroy them," Drav growled to his officers. "They strike and disappear. They hack our communications. They adapt to our weapons too quickly." Commander Rex, now demoted and serving as an advisor, saw an opportunity to regain favor. "General, I've been studying the humans more closely. I believe I've located their central command structure." Drav's 4 eyes focused on Rex. "Show me." Rex displayed a map of Earth with a location marked in the region humans called Colorado. A significant amount of their communication traffic routes through this mountain. "I believe their leaders are hiding there." Drav considered this. "Prepare a direct assault. I will lead it personally." On Nexus, Team Alpha and Lyra developed a bold plan. Thomas worked day and night with resistance technicians, creating a special program that could infiltrate the Dominion's central communication network. "Their entire empire depends on tight control," Thomas explained to the others. "Ships, troops, governors, all take orders directly from the central authority." "And you can hack this system?" Kate asked. Thomas nodded. "With the data I stole from Rex's ship and Lyra's knowledge of their network, yes. But we need to get to their central command hub on the Dominion homeworld." "Their homeworld," Jack whistled. "That's ambitious." "It's necessary," Lyra said. "The hub cannot be accessed remotely. And once we control it, we can send a signal to every resistance cell in the galaxy." Kate made her decision. "How soon can we leave?" "I've secured a faster ship," Lyra said. "We can depart immediately." The Dominion homeworld was a stark contrast to Earth. Where Earth was blue and green, this planet was gray and purple, covered in massive cities and industrial complexes. The air was filtered through enormous purifiers, the natural environment long since destroyed. Their ship approached using false identification codes provided by the Resistance. Lyra had disguised the humans with synthetic skin to make them look like common Dominion citizens. The central communication hub is in the capital city, Lyra explained as they flew over the sprawling metropolis. It's the tallest building at the center. Security? Maria asked. Heavy, but most of it is automated. They never expect enemies to reach their homeworld. They landed at a public transport bay and made their way through crowded streets. Dominion citizens moved with purpose, never making eye contact, never stopping to chat. It was a society built on order and efficiency, not connection. They look miserable, Ben observed quietly. The Dominion elite live in luxury, Lyra whispered. Everyone else serves. As they approached the central hub, Kate noticed something odd. The Dominion soldiers we fought were strong, but these citizens look frail. Lyra nodded. The warrior class is genetically modified and enhanced. Regular citizens are kept physically weak on purpose. It prevents rebellion. The revelation gave Kate an idea. Let's change the plan slightly. On Earth, General Drav's forces surrounded the mountain complex in Colorado. His troops deployed heavy weapons, expecting strong resistance. Begin the assault, Drav ordered. But as his forces breached the outer defenses, they found the facility nearly empty. Only a small team of humans remained, led by General Harris himself. Welcome, General Drav, Harris said calmly as Dominion troops surrounded him. I've been expecting you. Drav approached, towering over the human. Where are your forces? Where are the enhanced warriors? Harris smiled. Not here. But don't worry, you'll find out where they are very soon. Team Alpha reached the communication hub's main entrance. Guards stood at attention, scanning each person who entered. Ready? Kate asked her team. They nodded. Instead of trying to sneak past the guards, they walked directly toward them. The guards immediately recognized them as non-Dominion. Halt! One shouted, raising his weapon. Jack threw a small device that released a cloud of gas. The guards collapsed, unconscious. Non-lethal, Jack explained with a grin. Lyra said most citizens aren't our enemies. They moved quickly through the building, using Lyra's knowledge and Thomas's hacking skills to bypass security. When they encountered resistance, Ben and Maria handled it efficiently. Finally, they reached the central communication chamber, a vast room filled with glowing terminals and data streams. This is it, Thomas said, plugging his device into the main console. Give me 5 minutes. But before he could finish, a familiar voice spoke from behind them. I knew you would come. They turned to find Commander Rex entering the chamber, flanked by Harbinger warriors. Your ship was tracked from Nexus, Rex said. General Drav may have fallen for your diversion on Earth, but I suspected your true plan. Kate stepped forward. It's over, Rex. We've already uploaded our program. Impossible, Rex scoffed. You just arrived. Thomas looked up from his console with a smile. Actually, we arrived 3 days ago. This was our second visit. Rex's eyes widened as alarms began to sound throughout the facility. On every screen, the same message appeared, broadcasting to every Dominion ship, base, and colony across the galaxy. Attention, all worlds. The Dominion has fallen. Rise up. No. Rex lunged forward, but Ben intercepted him, the two crashing into a control panel. You don't understand what you've done, Rex shouted as they struggled. Without the Dominion, there will be chaos. Kate watched as Ben easily overpowered Rex, pinning him to the floor. Maybe, but at least people will be free to find their own way. On screens throughout the chamber, they could see reports coming in from across the galaxy. Resistance groups on dozens of worlds were rising up. Dominion forces, cut off from Central Command, were surrendering or retreating. "There's something else you should see," Thomas said, bringing up a new display. The Dominion's archives. They'd been systematically eliminating any species that might one day challenge them. That's why they attacked Earth so quickly after discovering us. They feared us, Maria realized. With good reason, Lyra added. Rex, still pinned by Ben, looked defeated. "You have no idea how to control a galaxy. You'll destroy everything." Kate knelt beside him. "We don't want to control the galaxy, Rex. That was always your mistake. We just want to live in it, along with everyone else." 6 months later, Kate stood on a platform at the newly formed Galactic Council on Nexus. Representatives from 100 worlds, including Earth, had gathered to sign a treaty of mutual defense and cooperation. General Harris, now Earth's representative, signed the document to thunderous applause. "Not bad for a primitive species," he said to Kate with a smile. Kate watched as former enemies became allies, as worlds that had never communicated now shared knowledge and resources. The Dominion had kept them apart out of fear. Now they were coming together out of hope. Team Alpha had returned to Earth as heroes, but Kate knew the real victory wasn't defeating the Dominion. It was what came after. A galaxy where strength wasn't used to conquer, but to protect. A galaxy where no one was untouchable, and no one needed to be. "Ready to go home?" Ben asked, joining her at the observation window overlooking the spectacular gathering of diverse species. Kate nodded. "For now. But something tells me our work is just beginning." As their ship prepared to depart for Earth, Kate looked out at the stars, no longer distant and unreachable, but full of new friends, new allies, and new adventures. The Dominion had thought they were untouchable until they met humans, and now the galaxy would never be the same.